2, 1. And we're live. Greetings, petrolheads, and welcome to RomRom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and today sharing the global endurance Laguna Seca Christmas race, as you can see. I'm not alone, luckily. With me is Cody, who you had already the pleasure of listening in when we did the R Factor 2 Macau race. So we're trying to make him as loud as possible. The issue is he's as near to the microphone as he can. At the moment, the Global Enduro is still on qualifying, if I see it correctly. And we are watching Mr. Sievert trying to do a quali. Yeah, I read that. I'm gonna make it a little bit louder. Whoops, what happened there? The car just went under the track for whatever reason. Oh boy, indeed. Uh, just for you to know, we have 11 teams. If I remember correctly, two of them have three drivers, the others have two drivers. So remember that this is an endurance race. Where the drivers are going to drive 140 minutes in real time, and what's Brad doing there? 140 minutes in real time and 24 hours in simulated time. So we're going to see some night driving here. While I search for somebody who is on track. Now, there we go. What I find strange is that it says the session has ended, but the drivers are driving. So, yeah. Yeah, but it shouldn't have that much delay. It has about at most 1 second delay, and it should be only tenths of a second, like 3 or 4 tenths. All right. At the moment, we're watching the driver that is the first in quali at the moment, Marreiros, in, as we can all see, a Porsche GT3R. There we go. Ah, no, the lag is bigger than that. Hmm, strange things with Technic stuff. I'm gonna be testing different camera settings. That's gonna be interesting in a simulated racing to see the simulated driver. Ah, strange. But hey, Assetto Corsa Competizione delivers different things. Perfect. You have the broadcasting thingy running? That's good. So you see the stuff in broadcasting, right? In the broadcasting window. Okay, that's good. That's good because as you can see, it shows you the time differences. It shows you the best time. It shows you if the driver is in pit or not, how many laps they've done. So it gives you a lot of information. Um, yeah, if you double, let's say that you want to go to Dash Pro, double click on that. Yeah. Thing is, what the people are gonna see on the stream is what I choose as it's my client that is streaming. So if you click on Helicam and think, why am I seeing the cockpit? Then it may very well be because you are unluckily not in control of what people see. Yeah, yeah. True that. True that. Yeah, because I see that the delay of the stream is bigger than just a couple of seconds, and I don't know why. So it's very possible that the teams are still on quali as there were server issues. Ed told me that, of course, you test everything before, and the day when things should go running smoothly, they don't. As it happened to me. I had everything on my streaming computer set up, and then my streaming computer was saying, no. And one thing that we have to remember is when we're getting into night, the behavior of the cars is going to be different. As the track is going to be colder, the tires are going to be more difficult to keep in temperature. And of course, the behavior of the drivers is going to be different because driving at night it's a completely different beast than driving during the day. Um, as the braking points and every marker that you think should be there, you may see it at the last minute, long before you should have go into brakes. So driving at night is a completely different beast, of course, because it's night. You don't have the same light conditions, because the tires are more difficult to keep in temperature, and because the track is also colder. So that's going to be interesting, as not many of these drivers have experience driving at night. Which are Cameron Thompson and Stuart Thompson, so they may very well be the Thompson twins. And just for anyone keeping score, we have one, two, three, four teams driving a McLaren, the 720S, and three teams, if I see it correctly, driving the Aston Martin. Um, no, wait. Gotta Go Fast is also driving a McLaren, but they called it a McLaren. Anyway, and two teams driving a Porsche. And one team driving a Lamborghini. Nobody driving a Ferrari, nobody driving the boat, which is a pity. Yeah. And what I like about Assetto Corsa Competizione is whether you drive the Lamborghini, the Bentley, the Ferrari, Porsche, and so on, each car feels completely different on the wheel. The force feedback. We're about to start the race. The force feedback is different depending on which car you're driving. Yeah, a little bit over 2 hours. 2 hours 20 minutes. Yeah. Uh, of course, just for everyone to remember, it's a rolling start. So they are starting in 10 seconds, but then they are moving in orderly line until the first one crosses the start and end line. Nobody's moving. Now, okay. Whoop! Atkins went a little bit far. You can already on the start. You can do some strategic tricks, by the way. If you drive near enough, or you brake so that the others lose their rhythm already on the start, you can gain advantage. And of course, what you do on the rolling start is you try to get the tires into temperature, but we are now on the start and end straight. And race is going on. One thing that we have to keep in mind, and I hope the drivers keep that also in mind, is this is two almost 2.5 hours of racing. So trying to get the first position in the first laps is not a good idea. Just get into a rhythm and keep it steady. Yeah. So, no stint is allowed to be longer than 40 minutes. There has to be at least one driver change, and I suppose it's going to be two because 140 gives you at least two driver changes. And there is, if I remember correctly, you don't have to refuel, you don't have to change tires, but if the server is set up correctly, these pilots are gonna be changing tires. Yeah, and he gets it done. Behind, it's also quite. The drivers are quite near to each other. Yeah, okay. Then I get this drive, return to garage, and so on. So drive. Ah, great. Thanks for telling me. I was all the time I was trying to change it in the broadcasting system, but that's great. That's good because it looks much better, doesn't it? Cool. What the one doesn't get, the other gets. Perfect. Just the way it should be. Okay, so what do we have? Uh, the drivers are. Come again? and the drivers are quite consistent in their times. Marreiros did on the last lap 125, Yannick Ville 124. So they're all around 125, 127, and what I see here are a couple of 133s and 131s, which would be about my time. I would have to look. What is my best time on Laguna Seca? I don't remember. Anyway, most are on the 120 somethings. Yeah, I mean, a Formula One would be great because that corkscrew would not make any problems for a Formula One. Yikes. There we go, the corkscrew. You know, I feel the corkscrew is not so much the problem, but breaking into the corkscrew is the difficult thing. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. So for and the thing is, it's quite a blind spot. So normally I break here, as Marreiros is doing, and then try to get the apex well. Marreiros got both apexes very well, but but it's almost as if you have to smell the breaking point, as it's at the top of that altitude exchange. So it's not an easy one. Yeah, they're getting quite distance in between each other. So let's check that out. Yeah, true that. This of course is this of course is another very difficult curve because it's double apex and you never know exactly what to do with it. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, Rosumin. Yeah. Yeah, but Rosumin did break very soon there, so almost caught Matt by surprise. Lu- yeah. Yeah, but Rosumin is I would say catching up, but yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. Ooh, Atkins. Whoa, what happened to Atkins there? Yeah, which is something that is so easy for anyone to happen. You were saying before that about the pace of the drivers. What we should not forget is, of course, due to the driver changes, the driver swaps that are obligatory here. Um, One may have a very good pace, the other may have a disastrous pace. It's going to be interesting to see the different drivers also because of what I said, see how they drive at night. One thing that, of course, we don't know. Yeah. Before I say that, the teams were either already there, and people went and set themselves up already as a team, or some teams found each other through the Global Enduro Discord. So some of these drivers know each other well or quite well, and other drivers don't know each other at all. Of course, they've had a lot of time to prepare themselves, to train, and also the we did a test last week, last Monday. So it's very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how well the drivers work with each other, especially those who don't know each other that well. Oh, and we see that Red Whisper went a little bit too far off, went on the gravel and therefore lost control, which is a very, very easy thing to do, especially on that one, on that curve. That's the Andretti corner, right? The first one? Yeah. There are not many names. If I remember correctly, it's the Andretti corner, of course, the corkscrew, and one of the straights also has a name that I now don't remember. Of course, I knew it five seconds ago, and now I don't. I'm gonna check Wikipedia for that. Oh well. So, thanks to Wikipedia, I can tell you that the first corner, the double apex one, is indeed the Andretti hairpin. Then we have the Rahal straight. No, nobody, I don't see it. Then we have the corkscrew, and the curve directly after the corkscrew is the rainy curve, and everything else just has numbers. Yeah. On the other hand, why not? Exactly. One question for the people on the stream, and because I got a note that Cody is almost non-existent on the stream. Can you hear Cody or can you only hear me? People can hear just me. I don't understand it. Say something, Cody. Thing is, you're as loud as I can put you. Maybe I should talk. So, hmm, I'm quite surprised that they can only hear me. You know, like last Thursday, where they could only hear you and they could not hear me. But I checked the settings, and you should be there.
Oh yes, he's getting a lot closer, and then also Gagliardi is also marginally faster than Pass. So we're gonna see a pretty decent battle here in a second whenever they all get caught up to each other. But yeah, Mark Peck's running 1 minute 26 for his last lap. Tonelli Pass 1 minute 25, and Gagliardi 1 minute 25 as well. So it's going to be interesting to see that gap get closer as Peck defends his position. Coming into the corkscrew, this can always be an X factor for drivers, especially if they're getting challenged from behind.
Okay, so people can hear you better now. That's good.
Deal. Excellent.
Yes. We have 8 resting places.
So as this battle for third kind of stalls, I think Mark Peck might have been listening to me, and then he decided, oh, I'll go faster now. Matt Adkins is in the pits. He is a lap down as well, but it'll be interesting to see him progress throughout this race, see what their driver strategy does to change, because what they're doing with their current pace is perhaps not working the best for them right now.
One interesting thing is I don't know if it's a fight or if they're just taking it easy, but Gagliardi and Pass are driving quite near to each other.
Yes, they are. And Mark Peck must have been listening to me because he found an extra second and is now way ahead of the battle for now 4th. And it looks like Gagliardi is going to battle pass for that position now. Ooh, boy, they're close. They are very, very close. Going through the corkscrew here, coming around. This is another bend because you're slowing down through the corner and then having to speed up. That's another one that can be quite tricky. But they both do it just fine, and they're coming across. Ooh, they get really, really close on these tight braking zones. Let's see what these laps are.
That could very well mean that Gagliardi is better working his brakes than Haas.
But it seems to about even out. Pass's last lap was 1 minute 26.085, and Gagliardi had a 1 minute 26.127. So Pass is holding him off, but only just. Another player who was pretty close but has fallen back from the battle is Cameron Thompson. So we can focus a bit more on Gagliardi and Pass as their battle gets closer and closer. Coming up through the long straight, 200 kilometers an hour, slowing way down to 72 kilometers an hour.
If they would have been in a real car, they would have felt it afterwards.
Absolutely. It's so I've been in a not a GT3 car, but I've been in an open seat race car, and whenever you brake, it throws you forward. You know, you're strapped in there. You are, you know, pretty tightly bound to the chassis of the car, but yet still you feel it. Just your head, your arms, your legs, everything just throws you forward. And you know, these drivers, thankfully being in a sim, don't have to experience so much of that, but it's definitely in the back of your head as you're considering, you know, the forces acted on the car as you're doing this, and the wear. And again, this is a, you know, 2 hour 20-minute race. We got an hour and 57 of it left. That, you know, definitely can
And by the
add up.
way, the weather is set up as random, so we could see rain here. I hope we don't see storm because Assetto Corsa Competizione is a little bit exaggerated on storm. We did just for giggles race at Bathurst with storm at night, and of course nobody was able to complete a race without having to go into pits because of crashing. So again, the weather may change, doesn't have to. It's as far as I remember set as well.
Pass and Gagliardi. Pass and Gagliardi. My bad, my American pronunciation of things here. Pass and Gagliardi seem to be about even. This is a pretty consistent pace for both of them. It seems that Gagliardi is fairly okay with hanging behind Pass and following his line for a good portion of this race. We've been through several laps now with them in about the same position. It'll be interesting to see if they make a move, though.
I mean, why not? You save fuel doing it this way because you're all the time in the source.
Absolutely. Our leaders still here. Moreros out in front. Will in second. Peck in third. We are 16 laps in. And 1 hour 56 minutes left to go. Battle for 10th or battle for 9th, I believe, is switch over to Stewart, who just made a nice pass for 9th in the braking zone for turn 1. Absolutely. And just to get a sanity check on pace here, last lap was minute 32 for Chris Stewart, and Moreros minute 25.
The drivers in front are quite stable in their lap times, with 125, 124, 126, 125, and so on. So they have found their pace and are just driving at that pace.
Absolutely, and that's the way you have to do it for an endurance race like this. You know, over the course of you know, over 2 hours, it can be a very interesting strategy to try to go all out. And you know, you might get out in front and stay out in front, but you also might use up your tires, use up your car, use up your, you know, effort and energy, and just not be able to make it through the whole time. And so oftentimes it's a much better strategy to like not go 100% the whole way, to hang back, you know, maybe cede a couple of positions, and then, you know, save that energy for, you know, the last 20 laps or so, or the last, you know, 15 minutes to really push hard. So it'll be interesting to see some of these drivers who are perhaps, you know, further behind your Chris Stewarts and your Tom Hams and your Ross Umans, and it'll be interesting to see if they, you know, find another gear going into the later half of this race. Because, you know, Moreros is out in front and he's focusing, and you know, he might be conserving the car, he might not, because you know, we do have tire wear in this race as far as I'm aware, and so he may have to go in for pits, may come to a new driver change. We're definitely very early on in this race to be able to tell you, you know, we're too early on in this race to be able to tell you if you know, there's going to be a clear winner, because that's the thing in racing. There's never a clear winner, because anything can happen.
To finish first, you have to finish first.
Absolutely.
So Moreros is driving together with Vasco Lázaro. So from the names, I would suppose that these two pilots are from Portugal. They may also be from Brazil. But somehow, these being a more Europe-oriented Discord, I suppose they're from Portugal. Although, for example, Ryan Monaghan comes from the US, so we have people from everywhere. And I would have to look it up, because we have at least one person, at least in the stream, if not driving, that comes from Australia.
Ooh, g'day.
It's like 7 in the morning.
Oh my goodness. Well, we've got our early risers, we've got our late night owls, and we've got me just chilling here on a cozy afternoon.
Do you still
It
have
is.
snow there?
So we had snow for a few days, and then it's largely evaporated by now. We had a snowman out in the backyard who unfortunately fully evaporated the day before yesterday. And that was pleasant. Well, in Oklahoma, there's not a lot of choice in the matter. We got more snow in a few days than we typically get in an entire year, which is not a lot, but you know, it was a cool visit of wintry weather. Indeed. One place you won't see snow is here at Laguna Seca. We are located in lovely Southern California. You know, you mentioned that the weather is variable and random, and it could change. But right now, it looks like we are nice and sunny with only scattered clouds. So it's a great day for racing so far. Of course, there's 2 hours left, and it could change. We don't have a forecast.
At the moment, the Laguna is very, very seca, which means dry in Spanish.
Huh.
So Laguna Seca is Spanish for dry lagoon.
Oh, that's interesting.
So there might have been a lagoon there and it dried up, or whoever saw that first said, hey, it looks like if there was a lagoon here, now it's dried up. Anyway, Laguna Seca means kind of a contradiction in terms, but hey.
Gagliardi's getting just a little bit closer to Pass. Not a whole lot, but he's making himself known a little bit more now.
Yeah, on the other hand, I think if he would be in for a battle, he would have.
Monahan has stopped.
He would have
Monahan
already have started the battle sooner.
Monahan,
Oh.
15 laps in. He is stopped on the side of the road. I don't know how we missed that.
That's strange. He may be having technical issues either on the car, in the simulation, or in real life in his computer. That would
Awesome.
be a thing.
I'm gonna spy on the Global Enduro Discord to see if there's anything going on there. I don't see anything, but I do see Monahan is back moving again. It's very slowly. Let's see.
Yeah,
he's back on track. He's not pitting in, so I guess he just needed to stop and fix something, and didn't want to come into the pits to do it. So.
Or he needed to do a bathroom break because we're all humans here.
Possibly. I don't know why he wouldn't go into the pits for that, which makes me think that it might have been something a bit more immediate emergency technical wise, because he was right around the corner from the pit lane. But he is just starting his 16th lap. We're on lap 22 right now, so it looks like Monahan and his team is going to have a very, very uphill battle from here on out. The Areola Avengers, which I get a chuckle out of. Not sure how they chose that name.
I would gather the thought that there were a couple of viewers involved.
That would be my guess.
Oh, and now Kagami seems to be starting the battle.
Yeah, he's inching a lot closer. Whoa, got a little bit loose there on the on that corner, going into corkscrew now.
He's getting ready to attack, getting very near, and I suppose on the start and end straight.
Monahan is off again. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's see what Kagami does now. He's very near, and if he gets a good exit, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, we had a little bit of wheel spin coming off of that. It's very, very important on this circuit whenever you're coming onto a straight, really any straight, but especially this straight, to get a good, clean exit out of the tight corner there, because that is a really slow corner. And so any little mistake that you make coming out of that corner, or going into that corner to boot, will compound itself many times over on the straightaway, and we saw that there. He got really, really close on the braking zone. He had the better brakes, but he just lost it on that just little tiny turn on the exit. I believe so. This looks like Tom Hands and Stewart. Yeah, so they're absolutely. Whoa, Gagliardi! Oh, man. It's definitely doable, but boy, not like that. There's Stewart slowing down Pass a little bit. Oh, Pass is going into the pits. That's a good time to do it whenever you're stuck behind another car. But Gagliardi is going to take that position now. Yeah, we have Pass coming to the pits at his pit speed limit coming in. We're going to see if that's a driver change because we're coming up on 40 minutes here. We are 5 minutes away from the 40-minute mark. So all of these drivers are going to have to be replaced very, very soon.
See, but it's interesting that they did know that the changes that Gandhi was attacking.
Cameron Thompson also coming into the pits now, do his driver change.
There is, if I remember correctly, Assetto Corsa, as per GP2 regulations, has a minimum stop time in pits of 1 minute. At least as far as I remember, I would have to look it up, truth to be told.
Our leader, Marreros, is in pits, and he will be changing out.
Oscar is now
Mark Peck in third place also is coming in.
we're going to see a lot of driver changes.
Yep. Looks like these drivers are, getting very, very close to their maximum driver time allotted per stint. They can get back in the car later, but per stint they can only drive for 40 minutes. Cameron Thompson, Chris Stewart, Tom Hands in the back, they are all in the pits. Now, it looks like Gagliardi is still out. I don't believe he's pitted in yet. I think he's taking the time to get some clean air from not being stuck behind, I believe it was... Oh, goodness. It was Will, right?
Now he's going into pits.
Oh yes, Will's in the pits now. Will's currently our leader, but of course that is all switching out. The 17 car, Impulse 99 Racing, has now got Simon Slebinger in the wheel. Mark Peck was previously running in third place. Slebinger is coming out in 6th. But Gagliardi and Will are in the pits, so that might just change.
So this was the car of Marreiros. Now Lazaro is driving it. So this, in theory, is the number 1 car. Yeah, it is because the number 1 pits. It's going to take position number 1 quite soon. Now, position number 1. As far as I can see, the driver swaps are going well. That's good. They are quite easy in Assetto Corsa Competizione, but of course, if you've never done it, you can mess it up, or at least you are so scared that you end up messing it up. But it seems like everything is going quite well.
Yep. And Vasco Lazaro, taking over for Hugo Marreros, is out in front again. MNL Racing, a very strong showing so far. Good pace. It looks like they've been coordinated and doing this for a little bit now. So they're definitely a shining example of how to get out in front and stay out in front for this race. Let's see, we have the number 15 car in the pits of Big F Racing. Replacing Hands, we have Anna Boll in the driver's seat now.
Oh, but there's some issue there.
Is there?
Well, she was quite like the car was strange taking the last corner. It looks as if she would be on a controller.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's getting she's been blue flagged. She's down now. It does look like we're a little bit yeah, it looks like there's something wrong with the input of that car because it is kind of going back for. Oh, Thompson is off. Thompson is off. Stuart Thompson here. He is spun out and sideways on the road there, underneath the Cooper Tires bridge. All right, and he's back going again. We have Red Whisper in the pit lane. Or do we? Seeing a bit of a glitch on my timing screen here. Let's see. Vasco Lazaro is coming around to the start finish. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, he just put in a 1:24 as his last lap. That is about on par with what Marreros was able to do.
Yep. It's not the best that this team has done. The best lap that they have done is a 1:22.704.
For sure, but with the tire wear coming onto the cars and the brakes fading and all that, the times that Marreros was putting in with this car earlier were on par with what Lazaro was doing. So, successful driver change, both drivers at the top of their form. Hendrick H is up in third now in the Soul Lamborghini Huracan number 60 car. Slevinger is right behind him, though. It looks like he might be giving him a bit of a challenge. Is it Slevinger or Slevinger? You're the German, you know how to pronounce things.
Slevinger.
Slevinger, okay. Yeah, it looks like Slevinger is taking on about the role that Gagliardi took, where he's just kind of hanging behind H and waiting to make a move, but very content to just be behind him and take the fuel savings.
And by the way, don't correct your monitors. It is getting darker here, as it was to be expected. As we have said, this is the 140-minute race, but on the server, the time is sped up so that the driving racing of 24 hours. So it's getting dark because it's getting
Headlights are on. We're in California. Sunset. GT3 cars. It's a good time. It's a good time.
And I think it's Slevinger because it's got some thing on the S and Hendrick H are exchanging positions all the time, mostly on the braking poles. That doesn't make much sense. It's a long race still. It's 1 hour, more than 1 hour and a half, and you don't want to get into these fights because both end up losing.
Absolutely. But, at the same time, if Schlebinger finds out that, hey, I've got the pace here, H is slowing me down, he might want to get in front of him so that he can, work on battling for second, if he takes third here. Because it looks like, H is slowing down a little bit earlier than Schlebinger has to. And so it'll be interesting to see what Schlebinger and Impulse 99 Racing decides to do with regards to that.
I saw
Whoa!
that coming.
Whoa! Yep. Case in point. Case in point, and that's going to be a little bit of damage for both of their cars. But yep, there goes H.
And Flavinger is letting H pass.
Good
Very
deal.
well done. Nice. Thank you very much.
Good sportsmanship there.
As it should.
Absolutely, but the battle range is on. It's not over yet. Schlebinger, as we can see, does have the pace. And so this will continue to be interesting to watch.
I wouldn't stop fighting.
No, certainly not.
The other ones. So
The
what the guy up front is doing. Just his rounds, doing 154s all the time, continuously, good pace.
Absolutely.
And now we're coming to what I was saying. The tires are gonna get colder. It's gonna be more difficult to get them to the right temperature. And in, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes, it's gonna be so dark that you only will see the light of your car. And then it's gonna be interesting how the drivers do.
It's interesting to see the levels of traction control that these drivers are running each. So there's TC and TC2 for traction control. And interestingly enough, H is running. Goodness, where's my mouse? My mouse is gone. Oh, here we go. 4 out of 8, and
and Schlebinger now past 8. Guys, don't fight. It's not worth it. In 1.5, like in 1 hour, it may be worth it, but right now you're only losing time.
Well, it looks like Schlebinger has the pass and is going to start, based on their previous pace, it's going to start pulling away. Okay, maybe not.
That makes sense. They should, from the feeling, they should just be driving together, so to speak, and just helping each other. Like one round I do the slipstream, the next round you do the slipstream, and not
Possibly. But with that, like, oh, we just got a little bit. We're gradually getting darker. I saw a bit more cloud cover start to come in on the weather system. So that'll be interesting to see how that changes the conditions of the track. Things are cooling down as we go into night, of course. But we can always, if it gets cloudier, it might get a bit cooler than it would otherwise.
And of course, the images from the helicam are getting more spectacular.
Certainly.
I'll give you a couple of moments with just the images.
ACC really is a beautiful game.
Oh, absolutely. The graphics were quite good from the start, and the sound. It's, in my opinion, together with Race Room, one of the sims with the best sound. The only issue is when you go into VR and start racing, you better have a good CPU and GPU because it.
Oh, Hendrick H. Hendrick H has spun. He's off under the Cooper Tires bridge. I said it at the beginning of the track, or at the beginning of the race, that on this track, that corner is a little bit tighter than it looks like it is. And so if you've been driving for a bit on that and you're pushing, you're trying to catch someone as H is trying to catch Slebinger, it's really, really easy to overshoot that just a little bit, carry too much speed through, and then get a rear tire caught out on the dirt, which is exactly what happened there. He caught the dirt and he just spun.
At least the second spin that we've seen.
Yep, that's a tricky spot. We have somebody coming into the pits. We have Ryan Monahan coming out of the pits. He's several laps down.
Interestingly enough, they are on their second
I think so. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I believe so.
Wonderful to see how the reflection of the lights at the back of the car gets reflected also on the tarmac.
Certainly. Hendrick H is coming up on a back marker, it looks like. I believe that is somebody in Aston Martin. Yes, Ed Bailey.
Ed is one of the organizers of these Laguna Seca Christmas race.
Indeed, I don't know if that's the best endorsement of of Ed Bailey right now. And now a lap down is Ed Bailey.
No, but the thing is, it surprises me because when you drive against each other, Global Enduro does R52 at ACC races every week. When we race against each other, he took the sausage. No, when we race against each other, he's quite good. He's won more than a couple of races. But
absolutely, and it can happen such that, you know, sometimes there's a track that you don't really vibe with, or there's a car you don't really vibe with, but that you're stuck driving. Any number of factors can happen for somebody not being on the pace that they're typically on.
On the other hand, he's not a lap down because Henry H did a couple of errors there, and Ed is moving away.
Oh, he's still a lap down. Vasco Lazaro is our leader. He's on lap 36. Ed Bailey has completed 34 laps.
Those are 2 laps.
We have 2 cars on the lead lap so far. Actually, well, 3 now. Okay, so it's... Yeah, okay, so as we're coming around here, we have 5 cars on the lead lap. Last of which being... no, 6, my bad. Tim Slide.
Will you decide yourself?
Well, as they keep crossing the finish line, my numbers change.
And by the way, Lazaro is now doing even better stints than before, or laps, sorry, than before. His last was a 1:23.7. Thing is, we won't see the temperature of the tires, as this is not shown by Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Nope.
So
Well, that's
even if I go to the HED, I do know that it's driving dry tires, but I don't know the temperature.
Yep. That is for the driver's eyes only, pretty much. Drivers and their teams.
Oh, no, double yellow.
Double yellow.
Oh, because Bailey spun.
Oh boy. WeatherTech Bridge. Oh, that's right after the corkscrew. So it looked like the exit of the corkscrew is what got him. There's a lot of compression there at the bottom, and if you land wrong or hit a curb in an unflattering way, that can definitely spin you, and it looks like that's exactly what happened to Mr. Bailey there. But we are back to green now. Whoa, there's lots of Hendrick H has just fought his way through some back markers, it looks like, or he's fighting his way through some back markers. Actually, no, he is fighting to stay on the lead lap from Lazaro. Or yeah. Looks like Lazaro just passed him. So yeah, we have only 3 cars on the lead lap now. Lazaro just passed Hendrick H.
So it seems that Moreiros and Lazaro are a good combination. Oh, by the way,
Looks
you were
like
saying about the traction control. The Nerode, who we're seeing now, has a traction control of 3. While, for example, Lazaro has a traction control of 4 and 5.
And Slevinger, who's in 3rd, has a traction control of 7 out of 8. So he's running very high traction control, and that's apparently gotten him up to 3rd place.
So normally this traction control, I personally would only use it. Oh yeah, he got the sausage. I would normally only use it when it's wet. But to each his own.
Weird. I adjust the traction control like during a lap. Like if there's a part where I'm a little bit loose on, or that like coming out of a corner, I'll turn it up. But then whenever I'm like on a straight or in corners that I'm more confident on, I'll turn it down. I've got them just mapped to buttons on my steering wheel, which I haven't seen a whole lot of here. I've been looking at the traction controls that folks are running, and they seem to be staying pretty consistent.
Yeah, I mean, most sim racers don't play around with traction controls and so on. One very interesting thing from the race from update that came today, a big update, is they are going to start having different fuel maps, different throttle maps, different brake maps. So they're moving into a very simulation kind of driving. It's going to be interesting to see how many use it, if they learn how to use it and all that, because of course having different fuel or motor maps is important, especially for example in an endurance race.
We had a car off. It was one of the McLarens. We're trying to figure out which one it was. I believe it was David Marshall who was off. Yeah, Marshall seems to be having a time of it. Oh, and he slides and does a spin. Oh, light tap into the wall. There's another car coming around the circuit, so you might have to wait for them. Yep, Sheik passes there. Yeah, number 22 car of what team is in the number 22 car?
Let me check.
I don't have him on my sign-up sheet.
Might be a last minute.
Oh, he's the 3rd driver for Big F Racing. Okay, in the 15. I don't. They're in the. They're in a wrong. Number plate.
We got the wrong car number.
Yep.
Oh,
well, Big F Racing, number 22. Scratch that off your. Scratch that off your spotter's guides. Those following along at home. Monahan's come back into the pits. He is not having a good race with that car. I don't know if they're going for another driver change. They've already had several. They might be adjusting something with the setup, but clearly something is not working for them. They've had to come into the pits a good bit.
I mean, there's not a max for driver swaps. So.
No, but you know, if you come into the pits and do your mandatory minute wait time and a driver swap, you're gonna drop down through the order pretty quickly. So you don't want to do it too much. Our leaders still are Lazaro. Lazaro. No, how do I pronounce that?
I would say it's Vasco Lazaro.
Lazaro.
But,
okay.
I did pronounce it wrong because I pronounced it Lazaro, something like that. My Portuguese is very, very bad.
Understood. Vasco Lazaro, Rene Rod, and Simon Slibinger round out your 1, 2, and 3 positions. As we race through the night, we've got sort of the times are getting a bit more conservative as we, you know, we have drivers who aren't, they don't have the visibility that they had. The tires may be wearing down a bit more.
And are cold.
And are cold. That cannot be stated enough. And so our last lap for Lazaro was a 1 minute 26. Rene Rod in second place got a 1 minute 25. So we'll have to see if Rene Rod, Slebinger, who's also running 1 minute 25s, if they can push enough and focus enough to catch up to Lazaro's car, which that 43 car is running a bit slower than it was previously. Or, I'm sorry, 35 car running slower than it was previously. Ryan Monahan is still in the pits. It looks like he's got a driver change to Bread, but is still waiting in the pits.
Because it may very well be he got a stop and go from Assetto Corsa Competizione. So maybe that's the stop and go that he's doing.
That's very possible.
By the way, just for those in the stream, as per GT3 regulations, Assetto Corsa follows that regulations. Any penalty and any warning are on the car and not on the driver. That means if you're the first driver and load, let's say, 4 out of 5 warnings, those are going into the car, and if the next driver in the same car gets 1 warning, he'll get a penalty, or the car is going to get a penalty because the 5 out of 5 are free.
Absolutely. Rene Rod coming up on Ed Bailey here through the corkscrew is going to pass him, lap him again. Yep. Clean pass. Very good. Very good.
By the way, I was saying that nobody is on the boat, but I think Ed is driving.
No, Ed Bailey is in the Aston Martin. He's not in the Bentley.
To see, but yeah, that doesn't look like the Bentley. And I do know that he likes to drive the Aston Martin, so I think you're 100%.
Well, the gap is about the same as it was between Rode and Lazaro. Lazaro's last lap, 1 minute 25.872. Rode 1 minute 25.728. So a little bit faster, but they are very, very far away from each other. Rode is just now coming up on the corkscrew towards the back of the circuit, and Lazaro is about to make his, yep, he's making his turn into the final hairpin corner going onto the home stretch. So they are a good bit of ways from each other for the difference. Whoa, Lazaro also just found a lot of speed on that circuit as Rode gets a shaky moment with H as he laps him again. And Lazaro just ran a 1 minute 24. Rode ran a 1 minute 25.719. So they're 1 second away from each other.
And the interesting thing is those times are quite near to what they were making of the day. So they have, I suppose they have now the tires at good temperature. They have found a good pace, even if it's night in the sim. So very interesting.
Absolutely. One of the ones that I've been looking at is Filippo Talia and the number 40 Lugano Racing Team, Aston Martin. Their best lap previously was a 1 minute 24, which is very, very on pace. But with Talia behind the wheel, unfortunately, we're running 1 minute 37s, and they've dropped back a good ways.
Yeah, it was what I was saying at the beginning of the race. Of course, the one driver may have an incredible pace. The next driver doesn't. I mean, I know if I would be the second driver, you don't want to have me as the second driver because my pace is going to be incredible. There was a league I was racing with a while. What they did was they always coupled the best, at least with regards to the times, the best driver with the worst driver, so that they saw to it that they would equal the pace of both drivers and have a very narrow group with all the cars.
Well, it's a battle of consistency in lap time in an endurance race, and that's what we're seeing here. Lazaro. Whoa. What's up? Oh, okay. Lazaro staying, out in front still. Rode in second. Slepinger in third. And that doesn't sound terribly interesting that the same three drivers are first, second, and third, but it kind of is because there's a good bit of, consistency in this race. And so we're definitely seeing talented drivers driving, head to head against each other. And, these drivers are still on the lead lap with each other. And it'll be interesting to see how the next pit stops and such will come along and equal them out, because the drivers changes were roughly 20-30 minutes ago, around that time. So we'll be coming up on, in the next 10 minutes here, our next round of driver changes. For most of the teams, we'll be seeing the initial drivers come back. And then for Big F Racing and Lugano Racing Team, they have 3 drivers, so we may be seeing a fresh set of hands on the wheels yet again.
By the way, what I was saying about the track getting colder, at the moment we have nice parts there from Assetto Corsa Competizione. At the moment we have a track temperature of 40 degrees Celsius, which is not very
that
low.
is chilly.
And keeping the tires on the temperature of around 100 degrees Celsius, that normally is the best temperature for any set of tires, is not easy when the track is trying to get them cold all the time.
Absolutely. Our weather is still clear though, with light clouds overhead. No, we can't see it, but that is how it is.
I mean, random weather can also mean that it doesn't change at all.
Right.
We are halfway through. Keep pushing.
All right, we've just got the halfway marker sound coming in through. So we are halfway through the race. I see Thompson coming into pit. That might be our first round of driver changes. We might just see that.
I've changed to the boundary cam so everyone on the screen can see what the driver sees, and that is not much.
Yes, it's quite dark, and the headlights do their very best, but boy, it definitely comes out from the black right in front of you.
By the way, according to GT3 regulations, you just saw somebody waving a white flag. That doesn't mean that that person is giving up, or as it is in American racing, that is the last lap. It means that there is a slower car ahead.
And then for that slower car, they will get a blue flag, which lets them know that, hey, there's a faster driver approaching, you need to let them by. Thompson is out, and Thompson is still driving. Thompson is still behind the wheel.
Remember that
Oh wait,
these are
different
the
Thompson.
twins.
The Thompson twins. Okay, yes, very, very good point. We have Cameron Thompson and Stuart Thompson. So C Thompson is now behind the wheel, as opposed to S Thompson who just got out. So we are on our
You're
second
right.
round of driving.
Thompson is still driving. Well, no,
Yeah.
Thompson is driving, but it's not the same.
Our leader Lazaro is coming into the pits as well, and he'll be joining Hendrik H, who's also there in the pits. So Lazaro's in the pits. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Also, Road has stayed out. He's going to get the clean lap and perhaps the pass there. Yep, Road is showing up.
Yeah, let's wait until he's back in pits. If how much time is done.
Absolutely, because Road also is coming up on his required 40 minutes, and he'll have to make a change. Yep, Moreros is in the car, ready to go.
Thompson just had a boo-boo there.
Oops. And again, coming out of the corkscrew, that's a tricky spot.
And cold tires.
And on cold tires, yes.
Because he's on the outlap.
Indeed. Schlebinger is in as well. And we have Moreros coming out of the pits as well. He's rejoined the track. Cold tires, Moreros. Got a bit of a slight wiggle coming out, but I'll have to get that car reacquainted with the road on new tires.
One interesting thing with Assetto Corsa Competizione, which shows how much of a sim it is, and they had pointers from the GT3 pilots, is a good way to get the tires on temperature is to go as much as you can on the throttle while pressing the brakes. That will make the brakes very hot, and Assetto Corsa Competizione is going to disperse that temperature from the brakes into the tires, letting you get the tires into temperature quite fast.
Absolutely. Road has pitted as our current leader, of course. Moreros is very likely going to come around. Yep, Moreros is coming around, and he will take the lead yet again. Overall, it's been a dominant showing from M&L Racing here with Moreros and Lazaro behind the wheel. The interesting thing is they both listed their pace as midfield. And
Are
that
we
is
lucky that they are midfield? We don't want to know what they consider fast.
no kidding. Yeah, so in the sign up for this race, for our audience who may not be familiar, each of the drivers, as they signed up, listed their pace, or what they felt that they were on pace for. Most of them have listed themselves as midfield, and we've had some interesting showings based on that. We've had some who may have overstated their abilities, and we have some who may have underestimated their abilities, such as the Thompson twins. They both said that they were slower but steady, and they're running in 5th. They're running in 5th overall out of like 12. So that's fantastic, you know, for someone who considers themselves slower but steady. We've also got full send. Whoa, Thompson is off. I had to say something.
You
Oh
jinxed
no,
it. You
Thompson's into
jinxed
the
it.
wall lightly. I did jinx it.
So
But yeah, we
Thompson
have.
twins. Cody is the guilty party here.
Yep, blame me. Blame me. Don't blame yourselves, or don't blame Cold Tires. Blame me. That's mine. That's my bad. But they've ceded a position to Chris Stewart, and now they've got a battle ahead of them. But it'd be interesting to see the pace difference between Thompson and Stewart. That might have just been prolonging the inevitable, or that might have been something that we'll really have to battle for. It looks like it'll be something they really have to battle for. They're getting closer. Can we, on the stream, take a look at Thompson and Stewart here? Stewart just finished his outlap, and of course Thompson had the spin, and Stewart got a quick little pass out of that. Whoa, they're right alongside each other. Thompson's going to get it back, though. Thompson's going to get it back. Stewart's right on the inside. It looks like he'll... Oh, no, he cedes it. He understands that it's an endurance race. It's not worth Yeah, I can't recall any times that I've had a successful overtake there that didn't end with one or both of us in the wall.
This is a good place to overtake if you brake correctly, and then you take the curve well, and you can use that little bit of straight to get nearer. And here again.
Oh, Thompson makes the same mistake. You can't blame me for that one.
And see what goes again.
Indeed. We also saw Talia pass there. Talia's a lap down or so. Whoa! But that doesn't mean that they're not a physical object. Thompson bumps into the back of Talia, going a little slow through there. And Thompson did not prepare for that, and ran right into the back of Talia, who is now stopped on the track.
So now it cannot be Cold Tires.
No, I don't believe so. Oh no, Talia's in a bad spot. Cut to Talia. Talia is beached on the. There we go. That gets him back. That gets him back into it. Moreros, that was a bit of a good thing.
I hope the car didn't get any damage.
Honestly, I think Talia needed that. Talia was high-centered on the curb, which just tells you how low these cars are to the ground. That you can get high-centered on a racing curb like that.
And by the way, it can happen also in real life. It's not an issue with the sim. I've seen GT3s on a sausage not being able to move.
Yep, I have seen that as well.
Because if you're unlucky, you just, as you said, you get beached on the sausage. And I don't know the regulations with GT3 if the technical personnel is allowed to push you so that you get out of that, or if you have to.
I would assume just for the sake of not having an object on the track, I would assume that they would push you to to safety. Whether or not you'd be able to continue going or not, I'm not sure.
Of course,
But
they're going to see to it that they get the car off the track. But if I remember correctly, on GT3, even if you're on gravel, they are allowed to give you a push, so that if you're not too deep in, you can get out and then continue the race. But I'm not sure. I will have to look it up because a drive-through for Gagliardi.
Yep, speeding in the pit lane.
That happens to me mostly in Barcelona for some reason.
So do these not have pit speed limiters?
Oh yes, they do. But and sometimes, first of all, not all of the drivers have them automatic, so they press at the button. And what has happened to me in Barcelona already twice was that I pressed too soon and went fast too soon, which is easy to happen in Assetto Corsa Competizione.
I see.
But yes, you have
Well,
and another thing that you have in Assetto Corsa Competizione, but not many people use it, is you really can choose different fuel mix or different motor conditions. So for endurance, that would be always a good idea.
indeed. This race has turned out, again, you know, the rigors of endurance racing. This race has turned out very, very disappointing for the number 40 car of Lugano Racing Team. Because we recall earlier they were battling for, I believe it was third early on in the race, and now they've dropped down into 8th, and this drive-through penalty looks like it might bring them down one more, or they may stay. It depends on how Hannibal manages to... Yeah, no, it looks like they're going to maintain their position. Oh my goodness, they got another stop and go coming out. Oh goodness. Yep. That's definitely, that one I think is going to give Hannibal the position if they can get around 2 laps, because that's going to be killer for Gagliardi. Because also whenever you're waiting there, your tires cool off as well. So you're on a lot colder tires than you were on.
And by the way, when you get a stop and go, you are not allowed to do a pit stop. You have to stop and go. There's
Exactly.
no changing of tires, no refueling, nothing. It's stop and go.
Whoa! Gagliardi also like beamed the sausage curb on the inside and sent them off. I've destroyed a few suspensions on that one myself, so I totally get that. But yeah, it looked like Gagliardi's lost a lot of pace.
Yeah,
and it might
he's also lost a lot of like you get a drive through, then you get a stop and go, and you're like, come on, give me a break.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And it looks like we're seeing that, 'cause we're seeing a lot of mistakes that you know, we were not seeing towards the beginning as Gagliardi and Lugano Racing Team had a much higher pace. What we might see is we might see them do a driver change. You know, if Gagliardi's getting frustrated in that way, it might be advantageous for them to switch out drivers.
Yeah,
I don't believe they can now on a stop-go, but they'll have to come around again. But it might be better off. But that's up to them. Hugo Moreiros still in the front. Yannick Will in the number 13 car. Behind a good ways, but in second. Still on the same lap. What a sound. What a sound these engines have.
also the pressure of the gear change.
And also the squeal of the brakes.
It's quite well done, this sim.
Oh, Chris Stewart is off, unfortunately. 37 car. He is currently running in 6th position. And Cameron Thompson is his closest battle, but Ross Uman also is on the same lap. He's a good bit further back, but it looks like Cameron Thompson really benefited from Chris Stewart's mistake there, because he's gained a good bit of distance between the 6th place car. Overall, our drivers seem to be fairly consistent. You know, we've got a few mistakes here and there, but we are racing at night, and we've been racing at this point for over an hour. And so, you know, some mistakes are bound to happen. But it's always eventful, it's always fun. And, oh, Thompson off again. Moreros comes around, lap him yet again.
Yeah, I think Thompson was just making pace and he made a little bit too much.
A little too much space, yeah.
That's something, if you're not accustomed to this kind of, oh, Gagliardi again as stop and go?
My goodness, yeah, you're right, I think. He's coming out of the pits now. Keep it down, buddy. Keep it down. Okay, looks like he made it. No more stop goes for Gagliardi.
Are you sure? I still get shown a stop and go.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, crud. Okay.
And I don't see any information of stop and go here.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, maybe did he not wait the full 30 seconds?
No, it may be at going out of pits. I don't know. Like
Possibly.
again, not driving too fast. Unluckily, Assetto Corsa Competizione doesn't show me the reason for the stop and goes. It just shows me the stop and goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, the weather now is cloudy, but the temperature has risen to 15 degrees Celsius.
Okay. Still very chilly. Oh, Whisper! Whoa! Gagliardi collides into Whisper, who was stopped on the track in the middle of a corner.
Yeah, not good.
Gagliardi back
And
into the pits again.
Going for the stop and go and thinking not very nice thoughts about the programmers of Assetto Corsa Competizione for the many stop and goes, even if the programmers don't have any guilt in that.
Yeah, and that was a pretty heavy hit between Gagliardi and Whisper. So it'll be interesting to see if either of them needs to pit. Whisper's in 11th, which is, you know, very, very far down the order here. But Gagliardi in 8th, dealing with that stop-go penalty. Still in 8th place. He was 2 laps up from Anna Boll, but they're on the same lap now. Which Anna Boll I've just cut to and is taking a bit of a detour through the gravel trap on the backstretch. But it looks like Anna Boll might make the position on Gagliardi. Okay, Gagliardi take very easy.
Impression how far back Whisper is. Hugo Marreiros is 61 laps already, and Red Whisper 28. So not even half.
No, I believe they've likely had some sort of a technical issue, because they were able to put down a 1:25 at the beginning of this race, And so, they have pace, but there's just no consistency. Like the previous one was a 1 minute 54. This one's a 1 minute 26. Like this was a decent lap. But it's just been those little mistakes that add up, like the spin out.
I don't get it. Gallardo was now in pits. I suppose he did the stop and go, but it's
Yes, Gagliardi did the. Oh no, you're right. Gagliardi did do the pits, and yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's not good.
Either he went into pits
Oh,
to repair the car, and now he's gonna do the stop and go, or during the stop and go he did something wrong.
Yeah, Gagliardi's still coming back in. Coming in yet again. This is his 5th or 6th time.
Yeah, not a happy.
No, certainly not.
And as you can see, it's getting lighter because the night is gonna soon be cold.
Absolutely.
Small hours of no more. Yeah, I know I'm not no Franks.
Well, I've apparently got some compliments on my voice.
Absolutely.
A little earlier, I saw your message. Thank you, whoever DM'd that to Serta. Gagliardi is out. He is maintaining under 49 kilometers an hour. He did wait the required 30 seconds. Okay, stop and go cleared. He has finally cleared that stop go. And in that time, Annabelle has passed Gagliardi for 8th position. So Gagliardi's going to have to fight Annabelle to get that back. They are still on the lead lap. I believe Gagliardi can do that within the next few laps. So I'm not terribly worried. Sunrise. Sun is out. Hello, sun.
So do I quote here?
Go ahead.
Good morning, sunshine. People says hello.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But the music, one of the most interesting music. The movie wasn't that good.
Herrera's coming around, lap 64 here. That was just a 1 minute 25.140 for your leader. So that's the top pace that we're dealing with right now. Previous speeds achieved 1 minute 22 from the same team. And so we've slowed down a little bit, settled into our consistent endurance racing pace as we have 47 minutes left to go in this race. Coming down towards the end of it, but still a lot can happen in that time.
Interestingly enough, Marreiros and Lazaro driving a Porsche wouldn't be my first choice for Assetto Corsa Competizione, but then again, I wouldn't be on first place, so what do I
That's the thing about those rear-engined Porsche race cars, is that if you have a certain driving style where you like to swing it a little bit around corners and really use the throttle to get it turned, the Porsche is typically not for you, because all that weight in the back will send it sliding a little too much, whereas with a mid-engined car or a front-engine car, that might be the way to go. With the Porsche GT3R that Marreiros is driving, the ideal way to drive it is really to go smooth and have like smooth, consistent inputs that don't upset the car. And we can see Marreiros really has that. He has that in spades, as does his teammate.
I suppose the Porsche is rather understeery?
It can be understeery, yeah. And I think that if you try to push it, you'll find that it does get understeery. But like, that's the thing though, is that like it's both understeery and oversteery. At least, you know, my experience with it, because it's understeery going into a corner, but it's oversteery going out of a corner if you apply too much throttle, which might be why we have him, you know, running some traction control. I think most of the Porsches are running traction control of at least 3 or 4 out of 11. And so, you know, with that, there's a, you know, there's a level of well, let me scratch that line of thinking and go back to the original, like understeer, oversteer. Like as Marreros like comes into this one corner, if Marreros were to like slam the gas coming out of the corner, they would definitely spin because the rear engine would like go around like mid corner. Just it would just like swing it around. But going into a corner, it's, you know, it's in the back. It's nice and stable there. So the suspension setup really gets it stable. Your biggest issue for spinning is mid corner, and then 15 car. Red Whisper, stop go penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Yep. Another, like, as I was rambling on about nothing, Gagliardi did get the position on Anna Boll. And so we have Gagliardi in 8th, Anna Boll in 9th, and for good measure, Adam Bread in 10th. We also have the sun coming up over the hill there, so that's going to shine in the driver's eyes, and it might pose some visibility issues.
Especially around Andretti.
Yes, absolutely.
So I've changed to Barreiras, who is now on the Andretti corner, and to cockpit so that the people on the stream can see how the sun shines into the cockpit and may bring a couple of issues on visibility.
Absolutely. And coming around the corners by the Cooper Tire, by the Cooper Tire bridge, it's especially bad because you're staring right at it as you're going around that corner. And that's a very important corner. Yeah, here's another good one. That's one, if you cut it too close in, like we saw Gagliardi do, you just beam the inside sausage curve. And whenever you have the sun directly in your eyes as you're making that apex, that can really complicate things.
I found myself on VR trying to move myself around to avoid the sun, which of course doesn't help. But that's how alive and real and immersed you feel.
Absolutely. That lap, Hugo Marreros was the fastest we've seen in a while at 1 minute 23.148.
And as the day starts coming in and the sun starts shining again, the temperatures go up, and the track that was at 14 degrees Celsius during the night is now at 16 degrees Celsius. It may
and it's
not
only
sound
going to
like
get
much,
warmer.
but 2 degrees is not bad.
Absolutely. Anna Boll letting Marreros around. Marreros on lap 68, Anna Boll on lap 58. So 10 laps down. And with amateur events like this, you are going to see a larger spread of lap times throughout. So that's not something completely unexpected. We're just happy to have everybody on board, have the grid that we have, 12 teams, multiple drivers per team. Like, this is awesome. This is a good turnout. We're happy to have you all.
And Global Enduro, we're mostly in for fun. If not, we wouldn't have had that race I was talking about in Bathurst at night with storm, because we all
Yeah.
knew that it was not going to be a classic race. We all knew it was going to be a survival race.
Yep.
But it was about the fun.
Absolutely. I've got something of note here. Hugo Moreros, he's got one car in his front windshield that he's chasing down. You know who it is? That's number 2, Yannick
Oh,
Will. He is
yikes.
chasing to be the only car on the lead lap. And Yannick Will in second place is struggling. Well, not struggling, but he's definitely pushing as hard as he can to not let Moreros catch up to him.
That speaks for the enormous quality of Plaza.
Yes, absolutely. They're certainly running away with it. Yannick Will just passed a back marker who's coming into the pits, Adam Bread. And so Moreros inching closer. So Adam Bread is in the pits. He's in 10th position. And it looks like he might be doing a driver change. Because I think Bread's been in the car for a little bit. That's the only thing I could think of. He's pitted in. It's Moreros getting closer to Will as well. And we can start to see the sun getting a little bit higher. It's becoming a bit less of an issue now than it was a few laps ago. But it's still going to be there for, this lap. Whoa, Stewart! Stewart off, has spun. He is getting set back on track, but Moreros having to move out of the way to avoid Stewart as he was about to re-enter the track.
So we're following Yannick Dile, and of course Hugo Moreros is about to overtake him at some point in the near future.
Yep. Now, here's the question is,
That's going to be a very near future.
Yes, it is.
If he continues driving this way.
The future got a lot closer.
Although
Brett is switched out with
I suppose
Monahan.
Villa is getting a blue flag.
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, I believe Philly got a blue flag. Monahan is in for Bread. They are in 10th place.
Cold tires, so be careful, Ryan. So we got a Porsche on the first.
It is Porsche, McLaren, Aston Martin, and then Lamborghini in 4th, Tonelli Pass. We haven't talked too much about Tonelli Pass in the later half of this race, but Tonelli Pass has been quite consistent. Best lap, 1 minute 24.894 before the night. And then last lap, 1 minute 26.121, which is very, very good. It's actually faster than third place had, of a 1 minute 26.715 set by Mark Peck. And so, we're definitely gearing up in this last quarter of the race to have some interesting battles set up. But Pass, good to have you here. Pass is the only person on lap 69. We have Cameron Thompson on lap 68 in 5th place, and in 3rd place, Peck on lap 70. And right now, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are actually, and 6. We have Chris Stewart coming into the pits, but we have P1 on lap 72, P2 on 71, P3 on 70, P4 on 69, and P5 on 68. So we are pretty well spread out on the lap times. But again, there's 35 minutes left to go, and anything can happen.
And they've been at it for over an hour now.
Absolutely. They've been at it for close to 2 hours now. We have 35 minutes left to go. It's a 2 hour and 20-minute race. So we're approaching the 2 hour mark. Here in about 15 minutes, we'll hit 2 hours. So they've been driving for an hour and 45 minutes between the different drivers. Bailey is coming out of the pit lane. Bailey is running in 7th, and he is on the same lap as Ross Uman, but they are on very different parts of the track. Cameron Thompson is in the pits, as is our second place, Yannick Will. He is in 2nd. He will be very likely doing a driver change. Let's see, do we have a new Thompson in the Thompson Twins car? Yes, we do. We have Stuart Thompson in the Thompson Twins car. So here we have another round of driver changes. Yannick Will has been switched out for René Rod, and Taneli Pass is coming in for his driver change as well. This will be a driver change, most likely a tire change as well. And then refueling. But this is all going to last a minute, so it keeps it pretty consistent. Marreros also pitting in, your leader, coming in here. It'll be interesting to see if René Rode can get around and get off of the lead lap, or get off of the being a lap down and get on the lead lap. Goodness, I've been talking for an hour and 45 minutes as well.
You also need a pit stop.
Wouldn't mind one, but we're getting close to the end of the race, and I'm very happy to commentate. So we have Hendrik H, taking over for the number 60 car. Marreros is still in the pits. Will be coming out soon.
Rode could really get his lap back.
Yeah, René Rode could get the lap back.
That's why I'm showing the track map.
Coming around, here is the final corner. Of course, Marreros is on the pit straight here. Marreros has been replaced by Lazaro for this 35 car. And Rod gets it. Rod is back on the... is Rod back on the lead lap? Well, he got one lap back.
Yeah.
It should. It's not showing up on our time screen. We may have just been wrong there. That's certainly very possible. Mark Peck has not done the driver change yet. Has moved up to 3rd. But is actually within striking distance of René Rod. But again, still has to do that driver change.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not really on striking distance. You
right.
Still have to go into pits.
Ooh, Hands is off, and Rod ran wide and nearly ran into the back of Hands, or the front of Hands. Hands is turned around. Tom Hands in the number 22. He is back around and going into the corkscrew with the front of the car pointed the right direction again. Ross Blumen is in the pits now.
You don't want to enter the corkscrew with the front in the front direction.
No, certainly not. You might go flying.
Might not be the best way to take the corkscrew.
No. René Rod does have the lap back, sort of. So René Rod is back on the lead lap. They're just not showing on our timing screen as being on the lead lap because of the difference between them. Lazaro and Rod share the same lap like midway through, and then one of them will pass the timing line. So we can say definitively that Rod has gotten the lap back, but it's just far enough down the order that, well, not down the order, but far enough down the like map that it's not working out that way.
But if he continues driving this way, he's gonna lose that lap very fast.
Yep.
A little too wide here.
Yeah, a little too wide, a little too messy. I think what Rod is trying to do is push, because I'm seeing Rod, try to use all the track, which is good, but we're using a little too much of the track, dipping down into the dirt a few times. Not doing it so much now that we're talking about it, but I saw it a little bit earlier. And here we are, Rod crossing onto lap 75, joining Lazaro. That last lap was 1 minute 24.699. Lazaro's last lap was 1 minute 23.949. So they're within a half second of each other, but only just. And Lazaro still has the advantage. Mark, yes. Mark Peck, as we had predicted, is coming in for a driver change. Have we had a car drop out? Because I see 12 cars listed on my screen, but I only see the one. I see number 12 in the pits, it's listed as, but with 0 laps to their name. It looked like Fraser Blex was did not start.
There was a team that had difficulties with the server for whatever reason and was not able to start the race.
Ah, that is unfortunate.
Now Lazaro going wide.
Oh, yep.
A little bit too
Indeed. Schlebinger is back in the car, and will be joining the fray here as Rod fends off Lazaro for the lead lap.
But isn't I'm pretty sure that he's getting blue flags. Yeah, he's getting.
Yeah, he got blue flagged. That was probably for the best there to stay out.
Which doesn't mean that you have to get all the well, you just have to let the other guys in a nice way and apply it.
Speaking of blue flags, Rene Rod has been blue flagged. I'm not quite sure why though, because he's fending off Lazaro pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa! I said something.
You jinxed it once again.
Yes, I did. Monahan also off in the dirt there. That is a corner that is deceptively tricky, because if you go wide, it's just fine. But if you try to take the inside line there's a curve, as we saw, that can just jiggle your car just enough, and that is a section of the track where you do not want to be jiggled.
And Laguna Seca has a lot of sections where you do not want to be jiggled.
Yes, indeed.
It's a very tricky track. Here, for example, where Rory is right now, there's a little bit of altitude difference, and it's about on the preparation when before you go into the double apex corner. So you always have to have that in mind before you go into brakes and with how you play with the throttle.
Certainly. Well, Lazaro got his lap ahead back, so we are at, yes, he is leading at lap 78. P2 is in 77, reviewing here. P3, 76, P4, 75, P5, 74.
And Schlebinger has come out.
Schlebinger, no, he's back on. He's back on now.
Yeah. Now he's back. But
It happens. 37 car. Ed Bailey just had his best lap in that car. 1 minute 25.311. So that's wonderful. As the track warms up, we're at 20 degrees Celsius now. As the track warms up, the tires get more grip in them. The track has more grip overall, and we're starting to see the lap times go back up, which is very nice. We had a best lap for Ed Bailey, 1 minute 25. 22 car of Tom Hans, not this lap, but previous lap, I believe. Got a 1 minute 26.583, which is a pretty decent lap. Whoa! Ed Bailey finding pace not previously found, because this lap as well, 1 minute 25.209, new personal best, just beating the personal best that I just reported on. Let's see, it looks like Stuart Thompson is in 5th place. Ed Bailey's in 6th. And it looks like Ed Bailey has the pace to catch Stuart Thompson, perhaps by the end of this. We have about 25. They are both on the same lap. And Ed Bailey just did his best lap at 1 minute 25.209. Stuart Thompson has a 1 minute 28.556 as his last lap. And so it will be interesting to see how that shakes up. Let's see, Thompson coming around. We're about to see what their lap time was. It's a 1 minute 25.902, which is considerably faster than they were doing. It's close to their best lap, but Ed Bailey still faster in that 1 minute 25.209. The question is, will it be enough? It is an endurance race, but we only have 23 minutes left here. So that will be a battle to watch, the battle for 5th place.
23 minutes, that's about 17, 18 laps, and he's gaining, if he continues this way, he's gaining 0.7, and he's got a difference of around 6 to 9 seconds. We could see a fight in the last minutes between Bailey and Thompson.
That'll be interesting to watch.
Of course, if none of them do a big error, which can happen. We've seen them from both parts. So.
Hey, correction. Ed Bailey, another fastest lap. 1 minute 25.101. Ed Bailey is finding speed that Ed Bailey could not find earlier. That is fantastic, and it might just make that battle for 5th come a little bit sooner. Stuart Thompson possibly feeling the heat. 1 minute 29.589. So we could see this battle. We could see this battle before the end of the race. We could very, very easily see it. It'll be something to watch.
As I was saying, Ed is in our races in the Global Enduro very often one of those that are in form.
So it'll be very nice to see it'll be very nice to see a return to form. This also might have been strategy, holding off, easing out. Let's see, Ed Bailey is racing for Global Enduro's Works Racing team, and they were kind of holding off, Bailey and Stewart both, it seems, because Ed Bailey's kicking butt right now. Ed Bailey's down into the 1 minute 24.636 on his previous lap, so he's getting faster and faster and faster. And Stuart Thompson, his last lap, 1 minute 29.589. I think we're going to see this. I think we're going to see this battle come up, unless there's, some terrible accident on either of their parts. I think we're going to see a very interesting battle for 5th at the end of this race.
One thing that we don't know, of course, is how much fuel Ed had, or the car 37 had at the beginning, and how much fuel it has now. Although, let me think, so we are at 82. They had to refuel at one of the pit stops, as if I remember correctly. No, let me think. No, most cars have fuel for 100 laps, which would be enough for this race. But of course, it's always a strategic decision. Do you fuel the car up to the top and then hope that you don't have to refuel it, or do you fuel only a little bit and have the car being faster?
Can we take a look at the number 15 car in 11th place? They are last, but I'm curious because I don't see them on my timing line. I don't see them very well in my timing system.
I cannot choose them. I cannot
Strange.
choose that car, so
It looks like they may have. Go ahead.
I would say that the car is not anymore in use.
That is unfortunate. So it looks like we had our first retirement of the race. Red Whisper, Matt Adkins, and Akashik in the, let's see, Swift Motorsport Porsche 991 GT3R.
So at the moment, if I see it correctly, we have 10 teams out of 12 that are still in the race. So how's the battle between Ed and Stuart going?
It says on my timing line the gap is 1.3 seconds. So I'm not sure as to the validity of that because I don't see them very close together. But
I think what you're seeing is the gap between Stuart and Schneider, who is directly behind.
Okay. Yep, I do see that.
It's a little bit difficult to discern here on the system.
Well, Stuart Thompson is he's just finished his corkscrew. Ed Bailey's just going into the corkscrew.
So they're not that far.
No, they're certainly not. And getting closer. Ed Bailey just got a 1 minute 25.665. Stuart Thompson clocking in steadily around the 1 minute 27, 1 minute 26.979 was his most recent lap. And so Ed Bailey's catching up still. It's going to be a question of pace and consistency on whether he gets there. Number 17 car just got a personal best lap. Schlesinger, who is behind Thompson right now. You could also see if that slows down Thompson and allows Ed Bailey to catch up a little bit. Oh yeah, they are too wide going into. Yep, he had to slow down for him. That'll cede some time to Ed Bailey. And I'm sure Ed Bailey will be very happy to take that. Ed Bailey has to make his way past a back marker though as well. Oh, Sheik is back in the race. Akashik is back in the race. With the Swift Motorsport.
On 24 laps.
Oh, okay. He's back on track. I'm not going to say he's back in the race, but he's back on track. Vasco Lazaro had a bit of a shaky bit coming out of one of the corners going up the hill. Nothing that's going to upset the over 1 lap lead, but something to keep in mind as we're going into our final 16 minutes of the race. Might be a little bit fatigued. See Rene Rode in second place as well. He's weaving his way past Slide, going into Corkscrew and Talia as well. So he's weaving his way through the back markers. Let's see, we have Ed Bailey getting closer to Stuart Thompson. Stuart Thompson's last lap was 1 minute 28. Bailey has to make his way past Sheik. See what Thompson's lap time was and Bailey's lap time is going to be. Thompson just put in a 1 minute 26.583. Ed Bailey understeering into the final corner. Let's see how he does. It looks like Ed Bailey is going to clock in at a 1 minute 25.935. So Stuart Thompson's finding a bit more speed, but Ed Bailey's finding even more right back at him. Number 10 car, Akashik, just put in their best lap. They're in, of course, last place. They've been out of the race for a good ways. They've come back on now and fixed whatever was wrong with the car or the driver connection or something like that. But they're back in the race, or they're back on the track, and they're putting down respectable lap times. 1 minute 25.266 is actually faster than what Ed Bailey just put down. And so we have Ed Bailey chasing down Akashik, trying to lap them again so that he can get to Stuart Thompson. And Akashik's pulling away. I have to wonder what sort of psychological effect that's going to have on Ed Bailey.
I don't think much. The way I know Ed, he's not going to really
cool as a cucumber.
He's going to be thankful for any slipstream that Akashik gives him, and that's it. Ed can be very concentrated, and he's going to be concentrated on the times that Thompson does.
Absolutely do have to be concentrated on those times. Speaking of Thompson, Thompson just had a terrible Andretti corner. Locked the wheels, understeered all the way through it. It's going to slow him down a good bit. Ed Bailey does the same thing in the corner right before the Cooper Tires bridge. But that one has a bit less of a performance hit. But
pushing because both know that they may lose the position or win the position.
Absolutely, and we've got 13 minutes left to go of this race.
Which also means that the tires are not going to be at their best. And the temperature of the track is 27.
Yeah, much warmer now.
Oh, and Bailey's coming on 2 corners.
Indeed. We have light clouds, and so it looks like we're going to stay clear of any inclement weather for the whole race.
Don't jinx it.
Well, I feel
it's gonna start raining just
I feel fairly confident. We only have 12 minutes, 13 left to go now, so I feel fairly confident in saying that. Of course, anything can happen, but I think that it's not going to shake things up too much. Ed Bailey, Stuart Thompson getting closer. Stuart Thompson just put in a really, really fast lap, 1 minute 25, and Ed Bailey slowed down a bit, 1 minute 26.604.
Thompson's lap was almost as good as the best lap done in this car. Last lap by Thompson was 1:25.758. The best lap in this car is a 1:25.647. So nothing.
Really interesting on these helicam shots. You can hear the helicopter in those cases. I think that's a cool touch. ACC.
Making it as realistic in the immersion as possible.
Certainly.
So, how's Lazaro doing? Just racing.
Really using all the exit on that corner there. Really has gotten a hold on how to push this car to its limits on this track.
89 laps with Minnesota, which is at number 2 laps. So, barring any major, like really major issue, I would say that the MML team is going to win this race. But of course, now that I said it, I just jinxed it. Schlesinger and Hendrick at 87 laps. But they're
Bailey
not
is
very new.
10 seconds down from Thompson at this point.
10 seconds down, 10 minutes to go.
Yep.
On the other hand, Bailey did his last lap was about 1.5 seconds, 1.5 seconds better than Thompson's. So it's possible. It's in the realms of the possible.
Certainly. Let's see. They're both coming around. Thompson just put in a 1 minute 26.9. Ed Bailey is just about to put in a 1 minute 25.0. So that's 2 seconds there. You know, we've got, you know, now 9 minutes. He's got to make up 9.5 seconds. He just made up some of them right there. Very, very excited to see if Bailey's going to be able to catch Thompson. Now, catching him is one thing.
Yeah.
Passing him will be a whole nother thing.
Oh yes, as it always is with racing.
Oh, Thompson locked the brakes a little too hard going into corkscrew. Lost a bit of time there. Might be feeling the pressure from Ed Bailey, who's just now going into the corkscrew.
Ah, bother! He just had an accident.
Oh!
By no fault
Oh
of his
boy!
own.
Oh boy! Well, that complicates things a little bit because Bailey's right behind him now. No, not right behind him, but you know, 6 seconds behind him. Yeah. He's much more in striking distance now. Bailey can see Thompson on the straightaway here. Thompson just did a 1 minute 28, of course complicated by that, you know, that issue there. Ed Bailey put down a respectable 1 minute 25.317. He's getting closer and closer and closer. He's inching over there. 7 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in this race. Can he make it? There is a, I hate to plug another channel right now, but there's another YouTuber and Twitch streamer, Bruffy1322, who has a saying that I like to co-opt, and it is top 5 is always possible. And for Ed Bailey, that couldn't be more true right now.
He hasn't met me. Top 5 is always possible would never be my motto. Although in the Bathurst, without in the normal Bathurst, sunny weather and so on, I made 4th. So hey, not nobody was as surprised as I was.
Let's see, we've got another lap in the books. Thompson, 1 minute 27.321. Bailey, 1 minute 25.338. He has the pace. The gap is down. Remember, it was 10 seconds not too long ago. The gap is down to 3.8 seconds.
Sure, but remember, Thompson had that accident by no fault of his own, and the car may be a little bit touched.
Oh, for sure. But that's gonna factor in. Vasco Lazaro, lap 93, with 5 minutes 46 seconds left to go in the race. We've done 93 laps so far. I'm a little curious if he'll be able to hit 100. I don't think so, but no, it would be.
I think there's 2 or 3 laps in this race. I know. it's after they cross the line when the time is over, it's 1 lap, so 3-4 laps.
Okay. Well, there we go. So we can estimate that we are 3 to 4 laps away from the finish line. Ed Bailey, Stuart Thompson, how might that figure into the race? 'Cause Ed Bailey's pretty consistently here, 2 to 3 seconds faster than Thompson. The difference is down to 1.5 seconds
Didn't
now.
take the unready one.
No.
You noticed on the camera that the car was a little bit
Yep. Bailey is staring him down. Now Bailey got a little bit loose on that one. It might be interesting to see.
On that curve, it's not that bad.
No, not terribly, but it does compound into this corner, which he took beautifully. There we go. There we go. Got it back. It'll be interesting to see this race because they're getting closer. He's breathing down his neck. Interesting to see how Thompson performs with the pressure on him and how Bailey performs because he needs to step it up. Oh boy. Absolutely.
He's also very important. He's not gonna try to overtake the lane where it makes no sense.
Right.
He's getting very near.
Oh yeah,
He's in a
Bailey's
very
got
good
the
position.
pace. He's in a very, very good position. We have 3 minutes, 37 seconds left in this race. We're coming down to, this might be the last few laps, just the last 2 or 3.
And no, Bailey takes it easy and doesn't
Ooh.
try to overtake on the Andretti.
Nope. Bailey definitely has the pace though. You can see he's holding off on his acceleration.
No, but he's already smelling blood. He's
Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. He's alongside Thompson.
yes,
He's alongside
he's
Thompson.
gonna
He's
make it.
gonna, is he gonna do it?
Yes.
Yep,
absolutely.
he's got it. He's got the pass.
He got
Ed
the
Bailey
inside
is
line.
now in top 5.
Yeah, he got the inside line there, and well, to be sure, also Thompson didn't defend like very much. So
Right.
he left him the space.
What we might see though is Thompson, if he can manage to hang on, we might see Thompson make a move here. Because again, 2 minutes 30 seconds, 2 minutes 30 seconds left to go in this race. Whoa, Sheik is off. But you know, we that won't factor too much into this battle because they were able to get around him easy. But Thompson's following him, trying to get in that slipstream. We might see if Thompson tries to make a move to regain that lead again.
So Bailey did a 127 in the last lap, and Thompson a 128. So they're 1 second away. If Bailey continues in this pace, Thompson has no chance.
Indeed. Well, as we're coming down to our final couple minutes here, let's round out the top 5. Vasco Lazaro, car number 35 in P1. Lazaro is racing for M&L Racing. Second place, we have Rene Rode in the number 13 car of Aim Punch Racing. Third place, number 17, we have Simon Schlebinger in Impulse 99 Racing, number 17, Aston Martin. And then we have Hendrik H in the number 60 car in 4th place. He is racing for, okay, this number 60 car. Hendrik, where is he? I can't find the team name right now for Hendrik H, but we have 5th place here, Ed Bailey, number 37. We just saw him win his position.
Just went out, so Bailey may make 4th if he continues. Well, no, he won't because they're two laps away.
2 laps down.
But Henrik had an issue there.
Absolutely. But yeah, 30 seconds left to go. Let's briefly take a look at Lazaro
So it's gonna be 2 more laps.
It's going to be 2 more
Lazaro is
laps.
gonna
He's
be,
going to be first one.
yeah. He now
Leaders
passed
on final lap now.
Yep.
leaders
Final
on
lap.
final lap. So it's not 0 plus 1 is 0.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no lap after this one. So here we go. This is the final time around. 2 hours, 20 minutes. Laguna Seca Global Enduro. It's been fantastic to bring this all to you guys, but it's not over yet. Ed Bailey and Stuart Thompson are chasing each other down. But, you know, Thompson is falling off a little bit. So it looks like Bailey might get it. Coming into the corkscrew here. Thompson's trying to late break. Oh, he leaves it a little too much. Anna Bowl coming out of the pit lane here. Assetto Lazaro going through the corkscrew for the final time. Timer has reached 0. It is the final lap. Rene Road in second. Nice and consistent.
And time has reached 0. So
Boom. There we go. Across the finish line. Assetto Lazaro is your winner.
after 98 laps, over a little bit over
Leader has finished the race.
140. There we go.
Rene Road here in second. He's coming around. He will have reached 97 laps by the time he comes around the timing line.
Very consistent pace by Lazaro.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Rene Road. That is a second place finish. Simon Schlebinger coming around the final corner for third place, number 95. Hendrik H. as well coming around the final corner. Number 4, P4, number 60 car, Hendrik H. And then Ed Bailey, we have number 37 car coming in at P5, 93 laps finished. Stuart Thompson also number 90. Stuart Thompson also with 93 laps finished, going to be 94 around here in the number 12 car in 6th place. Tim Slide is unfortunately stopped on the track somewhere. Yeah, he's stopped. But there you go. There's your top finishers. This has been a wonderful race. Yep, we're over.
Show them what you got.
Green light. Yeah, that's what Assetto Corsa Competizione does. It just goes there. It was a fantastic race. It's for me it was very impressive how Marreiros and Lazaro were very consistent all the time. Even in the night, they had very good times. So impressive, and also very impressive how Ed Bailey was able to take that place. So very good. I hope you guys and gals on the stream had also a wonderful time. This has been 140 minutes at Laguna Seca. Any last words from you, Cody?
Well, I just want to say this was a fantastic race. Thank you to all the drivers. It was very entertaining. We had some great battles in there. There was some hairy moments. There were some moments where we were just amazed at the lap times you guys were able to put out. Thank you so much for for participating, and thank you, audience, for tuning in. It's been wonderful to have you all, and we're very, very excited and proud to bring you Laguna Seca Global Enduro, 2 hours 20 minutes. This was awesome.
So, thank you very much to everyone on the stream and for your comments. And until next time, stay fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other at the podium. So, stream has ended. Fantastic commentating by you. Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Are you sure the stream has ended?
If not,
I've got